Okay, I'm working on my little carburetor for my little Hoglet build. Unfortunately, I started working on it and I was videoing and my flash card went to heck on me, apparently. So anyway, I lost a bunch of files. So we're kind of taking off in the middle of it now. Well, actually more than in the middle. I've got all the hard stuff just about done. But anyway, I only was able to recover one file, so, but here's the body. I have that done. All the ports are drilled in it. Here's the little, it's actually the butterfly valve. It's the throttle valve. That's done. That's got the little hole, got a hole going in here to the cross hole over here, and then a cross hole in the flange, and then two O-rings. What that does is it sits in here, and the fuel comes in, and it goes in between these two O-rings and goes into that little port there, and then goes out the butterfly valve, and then the needle goes in here to constrict the flow, or restrict the flow of gas. So, but anyway, this part of it is pretty much done. That fits in there. Some chips on here. That fits in here like so. Oh, and it's the idle adjustment screw goes against one side, and high speed screw goes against the other side of these two flats that are in here. So it goes together like that, just like that. That slides in. Two O-rings slide in, and it slides up against the back side here. And I have a little washer that goes on there. It's actually a little step washer that fits in here and holds that in place. If I can find the hole here. Well, come on now. Fingers don't want to work. Alright. And then the two screws here are for the high and the low speed, so they go in. They get turned in. Let's see. I got that in. I actually have it in backwards. No, I don't. Needle, the ports, or the little tiny hole that's through the butterfly is facing toward the motor, which is correct. Get it right. First time for everything, I guess. So okay, this would be the low speed. I might have to put a little L and a H on there, low and high, low, or else idle screw, and alright, let's put this one in here. Okay, if you can see in there, so the high screw is going to limit how far it comes open. Right now it's allowing it to go past, it's going past wide open, so we don't want it. We want that screw turned in, and plus I'm not going to let it go wide open anyway. I'm going to let it go only about 3/4 throttle. Okay. And in the low, which is the other side, other screw, oops, that should go to where it's
fully closed. Or not quite. Not quite fully closed. Right about there somewhere. I'll naturally have to adjust those if I ever get the motor running. So anyway, that's about where they're going to be set, I think. I may cut this one down a little bit so that it screws down into the same height. And right now I'm working on the spray bar that goes into this hole right here, goes across. That's for low speed. And I've got that turned up and I've got it mounted in here. I've got the 18 thousandths drill through there. I want to level it out so that when I put the flat on here, the retaining flat for the set screw, so that it's parallel to the drill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an indicator and try to dial that in. Try to dial that in from side to side. I'm going to move the camera here so I can get at it with my indicator. Alright. So, pretty small, so I don't know. I should probably almost put a small needle on. Well, I can see right now that it's this side's down, so I'm going to go up just a tad. Now it's the other way. I don't know if it's really all that critical, but I'd kind of like to have it. I'm going to turn the dial on the 2.5 above. There we go, 0. 0 on that side. We're about 6 thou low. Now to try to turn that. You know, the little drill is so flexy that, you know what I mean? It's just not. Now we're about 2 thou low. And I think it's going to be the other way now. There's 0. Well, we're closer now. We're only 3 thou. So, oops. Go to right. That's going to be close enough. Now when I tighten it up, it's probably going to change. I'm going to go over to the vise. I'm going to take it and go over to the vise and tighten the nut up on the collet. We'll see how much it changes. I think if I'm within 15-20 thousandths, it's probably good enough, because I don't think you'll notice it on the airflow across those holes anyway. I might be wrong, I don't know. I'm looking for my, alright, my 5-seat collet wrench. Huh. Ever have one of those days you lay something down and then you can't find it? Alright, I found it. Doesn't have to be all that tight, because it's only a 100 thou wide hole slot that's gonna need to put into it. So, all right, let's just see where we're at now. We're at 0 there. 2 thou. We're within 2 thou. I'm going to leave that. So I'm going to take that drill out of there before I break it or lose it. I don't have a spare. That's an 18 thousandths diameter drill. Come out of my little drill decks. Hard to pick up off of the surface plate here. And pick this row up and pick this row up, and goes in this spot right here. There. Bought that set quite a while back, and it's USA made drills and not China drills, and they work really nice. I mean, I don't think I knock on wood, but I don't think I've broke any, and they've always cut pretty nice. So, like I say, knock on wood. All right, well, I'm going to shut you off here, shut the camera off, and put you in my little magnetic tripod and go over to the mill. Okay, I'm on the mill here, and what I did before I came over here was trying to get the camera in here a little closer to it. But you can, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a little tiny mark right there. That mark was put there when I stuck it into the carburetor and then took the drill into the set screw hole and just made a little mark there. So I wanted to use that to pick it up. I wanted to make sure I got it in the right spot. So I can see right now you're going to be in the way. Here we go. I got to fix this light too. I should have put that light down here, not up there. It would have been much nicer. So anyway, I'll redo that sooner or later. Let's see if maybe I can take and turn it off. That may help. Otherwise, if it gets too bright, it just doesn't seem to, camera just doesn't want to pick it up very well. Now, I got a little center drill in there, and I just want to come over and try to pick up that mark. Because that's where, like I say, that's where the set screw is going to come in at. Just want to be close. Like right about there. So that's where I'm going to put it in. And I got a little 3/32 end mill. Take the center roll out. And you put that little end mill in. 93/8, right? Isn't it 93/8? I don't remember. Alright, we're going to come down. And there's no specified depth, just a flat for the set screw to go up against. So just going to turn on the spindle. I can see that you're not seeing anything. Just going to turn the spindle on and crank it back and forth across that. And do a little flat. I think that's about good enough right there. that should do it. So now we'll take it out of the collet. I have a sleeve on it because I didn't have a collet that size. Ugh. It's just a split bushing is what it is. I just used it quick turned up a split bushing. Now let's go back to the other tripod. Fingers don't work. Alright. So I'll make sure that I'm trying to look through the hole to see, make sure that it's clear and clean. Yep, it doesn't look like there's anything in it. And that has got to go into this hole. Just like that. And hopefully the screw lines up. I'm just going to get an Allen screw for now. Get a 256 brass screw here. And we'll turn it into that hole. Hopefully it lines up with that slot. Yep. Can't pull it up. That's a good sign. So I'm going to need to shorten up the screw here, because I'm just going to tighten it up a little bit, snug it up. Snugged in place. So now the only thing left to do is, oh yeah, I'll have to make 2 short screws, because this hole actually serves no purpose on this side other than it gave me a spot to drill for a port. I could have either pressed a plug into it, or like what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and cut off a real short screw and with only a few threads, and then put that in there. All it has to do is seal that hole up, because that supplies the fuel from the intake hole, which is right here on the carburetor. Fuel goes in there, and then it hits that hole, or goes up to that hole, and yeah, it goes up to this hole, and then it comes across. This hole actually goes all the way across to here. So the fuel comes in, comes up to here, and then that piece that we just put in, that spray bar, intercepts it down at the bottom of the hole. And then also that hole goes all the way in, and it goes into the throttle bar too, or the throttle butterfly, because the fuel goes in between the 2 O-rings here, and then it goes inside the butterfly, and the needle, like I say, the needle will be in here, and then it comes out through the butterfly, through the little hole in the butterfly. So hopefully it'll all work. What do I want to work on next here? I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and work on the throttle lever. The screws, I'm gonna have to make a collet for that. I'll make a collet to turn the point on the end of the screws. Maybe I'll do that. I'm just going to make another collet like I did with that, like I did with this. I'll just put a 256 thread through, and then I'll take and split it, and that way I can thread the screw on it, put it in a 1/4 inch collet, and then turn the point on. I have to wind some springs too. I'll need to wind one spring for sure, actually 2 springs. I'll need to wind the spring for over here too. So I don't know what length I'll need here. Well, yeah, I'll have to wait until I get the screws made. When I get the screws made, I'll know what length, and then more than likely I'll have to make a mandrel to wind the screws. That's 156. I'd probably start at 130, 125 diameter, and wind the spring and see it should expand enough to fit on the 156. So, but anyway, that's where I'm at with the carburetor. Didn't get, like I say, lost videos, so didn't get much of the building of the body. It was after the turn, after I turned it, I turned the horn on it. I milled up the square, turned the horn on it after a while. So let's get this right. I milled the square, bored the hole through here, put it in the 4-jaw, turned that, and I put it in, this is the intake side, and I put that in a collet. Then I turned the inside flare of the horn, and then turned the outside flare. And then from there, I cheated and went over to the NC, and had the NC cut this configuration around that hole. And then from there, I just started putting holes in. I put all the holes in, and then after I got the holes put in, then I came back and I milled this. The only thing I done was milled this step, and I milled this side down, because this side here was out to the point of so it was out like that, and I milled that down. And that puts us where we're at right now, other than I created the butterfly too, and the spray bar we just finished. So it's getting close. When I get this done, I'm going to make a couple spark plugs right away for the motor. So I'm going to cut away here and go ahead and make a collet. Basically all it's going to be doing is turning, drill and tap, part it off, and split it for the screws. I'll be back when I get that made. Okay, here's the carburetor so far. All I need is, what's left is the spring. A spring on high jet or needle, and the low speed needle. And I got the lever made, and what I did was I milled the lever profile on a block, and then you can see right here is what I done. Took a block, I milled the profile, I split it, put the holes in, and then took a slitting saw and cut it off. So my camera's still acting up. I took the card out, formatted it on the computer. Hopefully it's working now.